Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is JT from Above and Below the Belt. I want to talk about the fight that happened last night. Well, it was multiple different fights that happened last night, but I want to talk about the fights that I seen, and that was Robert Easter versus Adrian Granados, and that was a pretty entertaining fight. You know, and everybody, some boxing channel before the fight was saying that Adrian Granados was going to get the win. I don't know if they said by knockout or just by majority decision by the judges, whatever. But they said he was going to win. Come to find out, Robert Easter won the fight, and it was, I don't think it was a close fight, but it was kind of weird, as in because I thought Robert Easter had the fight. You know what I'm saying? I thought he had the fight. He had the more clean punches, and something he had power shots too at the same time, right? Adrian Granados, he had his moments. I think the early rounds, in 5 rounds, if you talk about out of the 5 rounds in the early rounds, I think Adrian Granados probably won 1, maybe 2 rounds, but it was close. Those rounds that I thought he won was close to Robert Easter, so it could have went either way, right? Because I remember the commentator or whatever, the person who's judging rounds by rounds said that Robert Easter was a sweep. I disagree with that. Maybe I would give Granados 1 round, maybe 2 rounds. One thing is Robert Easter was effective when he was boxing, using his height, using his reach. He was effective. One thing is he can't keep up that pace. I realize that. He cannot keep up that pace going backwards and moving. Well, not just going backwards, just moving around, period. You know what I'm saying? And because he just get caught up in that moment. And everybody been saying that. I've been seeing on some people's channels in their, leaving questions and what their opinion about the fight. They talking about he lost the fight, Robert Easter. I didn't see that. I don't know what you're saying because some of these people are going off with the Granados punch out. You know what I'm saying? His numbers. So he said he hit Robert Easter more like 100 times or something like that. That was kind of strange and interesting, but it shouldn't be that strange because this is not the first time this ever happened. Some person here landed more. I didn't see that in the fight. I don't think he landed more. It was kind of funny because they think that, when Robert Easter was fighting him in the pocket, Granados was giving him some, but then Robert Easter was giving him back. It was tick for tat at the same time. But when he was boxing him, when he was boxing from a distance, Granados, Robert Easter, he was winning that fight. Like it was a clear cut. Because Adrian Granados was trying to he's a pressure fighter, and he was definitely coming at Robert Easter, but he couldn't catch him. He was missing. He hit him with a couple of shots that got to his face, but other than that, he just couldn't keep up with the pace. He's got slow legs. That's one thing about, man, you gotta have some good legs in boxing, man. You know what I'm saying, too. And one thing is, I know Granados came in with 7 losses, but he's coming down from 147 to 140, right? And one thing he said, he should have never been at 147. But he tested waters, and he said enough is enough, and it's time to go back down to 140. I ain't mad at that. And one thing, this is Robert Easter's first debut at 140, and he looked at okay. Some people might say he looked at great, but I say he looked at okay. It's some things he can work on, but I think that even the things that I think he can work on, as in not getting into a brawl, I don't think that's got nothing to do with the coach. That's got something to do with Robert Easter. What I realized, because when the coach said, don't brawl with him, stay outside in the pocket, box him. But Robert Easter can't keep up moving around that much. I don't think Robert Easter, like, he don't have his stamina is not that great. It's okay. I think he got, okay stamina, but not as in moving around and throwing punches and keeping up with that pace for 1 to 12 rounds. You know what I'm saying? See, Floyd Mayweather, that's what sets Floyd Mayweather apart from a lot of other fighters. He can do that. He can move around. He can punch. You know what I'm saying? And he can do that. He kept up the pace for the first round to the 12. I mean, I ain't gonna say he did it to in most of all his fights. But I'm talking about, he did fault some people's styles. He did stay in the pocket sometimes, but he just wanted to test the waters and see, because I guess people was in his ear and people saying that he always running, which that's part of boxing. When people say running, You know what I'm saying? That's a code word for, especially with the boxers saying that, that's a code word for you just can't move the way they can't move, the way their slick boxer can move. You know what I'm saying? Now fans just, they want to see a knockout, but sometimes you're not gonna get that at the same time. But they wanted to see Floyd Mayweather lose. But getting back to Robert Easter and Adrian Granados, it was a good fight. Like I said, it was just strange. And then they said 100-90. I disagree with that. It was closer than that. I think it was 93 to 97. You know what I'm saying? For Robert Easter, then Granados got 93. You know what I'm saying? So this tell you that what do this tell me? I mean, Robert Easter he looked okay in his debut. Some people might say he looked great or whatever. He was doing great when he was boxing him, going backwards, going to side to side, and you know what I'm saying. But he can't keep up with the pace because he always go back to brawling. You know what I'm saying? And his trainer was telling him, don't brawl with this dude. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought he was gonna get hit. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was gonna get caught. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, he was catching Granados too at the same time with the clean, effective punches. I will definitely say that, and with the harder punches too. You know what I'm saying? So, Granados said he thought he won, which, he the boxer, he was in the ring, so most people gonna always think they won at this won the fight or win. He thought he won this fight, but at the same time, man, I thought Robert Easter pulled it out. I don't think it was a controversial fight, whatever. I don't think nobody got robbed. I think the right person won the fight. You know what I'm saying? And I was kind of surprised that Robert Easter did what he did in the ring. You know what I'm saying? But when he went back to brawling, I mean that's him. And you don't want, you know what I'm saying? So all y'all talking about he needed a new trainer or whatever and all that, Telly Atlas or some other trainer at the same time, I don't think it's gonna make a big difference because that's what he does. That's what he goes back to. He don't fight. Sometimes he fought as a tall guy, to his advantage, but he went back to his disadvantage, which is going brawling. But sometimes he did good too at the same time, but that was very dangerous too. That was very dangerous because he could have got caught. But he was catching Granados too at the same time when he was in the pocket banging with him. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, one thing is Robert Easter is a warrior, but his IQ, he did okay. I mean, I'm not going to say he did bad. I'm not going to say he did great, but he got the job done, and he won clear as day. You know what I'm saying? Fair and square. Ain't nobody. It was a robbery, like I said. But what y'all think about Robert Easter? Do you think he's who you think his next opponent is going to be? And then, like, how well you think he's going to do it at 140 division? You know what I'm saying? Instead of at the 135 division. You know what I'm saying? Do you think this might be his division, or do you think he need more work? Which I think he do need more work at the same time. He's only going to get better, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? And if he start brawling and stuff like that, I mean, here and there, but he was just brawling. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess he was tired, too, at the same time. That's when he stopped and said, look, I'm going to just brawl with this guy. Because his trainer was telling him, do not brawl with the guy. Box him. Move around. Throw your jab, which it was effective. You know what I'm saying? So, leave a comment at the bottom of my page. Subscribe to my page. Like my page. Hit the notification bell for a new video from me. This is JT from Above Below Dope. All right, bye.